Everybody.
Hey. Ready?
So, yeah, you would like to discuss what today?
Yeah, I want to discuss twin flame telepathy because I am feeling like I have a foot in my chest.
Full-on boot?
Full-on boot in my chest for like 5 hours. So I think this is a really good conversation to have right now because, yeah, it's relevant.
What's going on with the boot? What's this all about?
All right. Okay, so my twin flame, I get to be the one who basically drops the bitch slap and brings reality to my twin's life and teaches him the hard lessons, as most twins do. I mean, you guys all understand this, right? But I get to be the one. It's not the family member. It's not the karmic. It's not those other things. It's basically me. I get to drop the bomb. And so he's having a really very, very hard day today.
Yeah, sounds like it.
We haven't talked. He needs to process this stuff and deal with it on his own. But as most of you understand, the separation period, that's what we're doing. And it's not pretty.
No, not at all. It doesn't sound fun at all.
No. And you can't take an Advil for this.
So what is exactly you're feeling?
So that's what we wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
So I wanted to start with, here's the thing with twin flames. So even before you have your kundalini, you don't realize what's happening with this telepathic communication between you. You still instinctively feel pulled together. There's a lot of this that applies in a very subtle level. You might not recognize it until later. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But now they look back, I'm like, oh yeah, now I see that for what it was.
What do they say about hindsight?
2020. Anyway, and then you get your full-blown kundalini fire, and then you're launched into hell, and you feel everything. And then all
into
this
hell.
Well, into
it
heaven.
kind of is a lot.
Into heaven and
I know,
hell.
but it's just like,
yes.
wow, it's a lot more than you thought, huh?
Well,
So
yeah,
you didn't think
can't
much,
prepare
did you?
yourself.
Huh?
Yeah, there's no thinking about it. Anyway.
Well, I definitely want to help some folks. I mean, that's what we're talking to this about. And so.
Well, yeah, because, okay, so in my journey, I didn't know what any of this was.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right. I remember.
Right. And so a lot of the information that I found about it would talk about, okay, here's these symptoms, and it's part of it, but it didn't tell me how it relates to what I'm going through and to my relationship with my twin.
So you mean it wasn't early onset of menopause?
No, thank you so much.
So what is it then?
Okay. So when you go through Kundalini, okay, and you're connecting with your twin, here's the deal. Twins are connected, always connected etherically through the silver cord from between heart chakras, always, and through crown chakra, right? So you're constantly communicating through crown chakra. You are eternally connected through the etheric cord from the heart chakra. There's no way. I mean, it's indestructible. You can't break it. You can't break the bond. You can't do anything about it. It's there. It's eternal. There's nothing you can do about it.
You can't shut it off?
Well, you can suppress it. We can talk about that later. But yeah,
okay.
You can suppress it. You can numb it. You can ask to have it cut. It never works. Whatever. Trust me. I've heard people try to do it. It's like, just get off the train. Don't.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean,
anyway.
I've seen the cord. I mean, I've seen that. To me, it was more like a rod.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Jim, okay, so because Jim is, healer, you can see auras, you can see all of these aspects of the energetic field. Jim is able to see these elements. And so why don't you maybe describe what you see when you're looking at it?
It's just, yeah, sure. It's silvery. It looks more like a what I would call a dowel, which is a woodworking tool. It's a thin rod. It's more rod-like. It's more firm, but it's not heavy in the feel or the look to it. And so that's how, I mean, I can tell it's like ethereal still. Like it doesn't have weight, but it feels like I feel it, and it feels like a solid, heavy, like silver or iron, but yet it's not. And so that's what I see. It doesn't feel like a cord though, which is interesting. People describe it as cord, and it's always interpretation is everything. But
right.
I mean that's what I feel. A very strong, definite thing though, for sure. I've always seen it around you. So
See, I didn't really know that you recognized that before.
I thought it was a psychic thing. I didn't think it was a twin thing, so I had no idea until you said later. I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I think it was when we were sitting there and you were like, that looks really uncomfortable. Are you okay? And I was having this sharp pain in it because I had spent the day with my twin. Yeah, I was having a day with him, and then I had this sharp pain in it, and you were like, that looks really uncomfortable. And then that was the first time that I actually realized that you saw it. So if this is your heart chakra,
yeah.
Here's where the heart chakra
Great
is.
pointer, yes, it's my
right?
heart chakra. Yeah.
Okay, heart chakra right here.
Right.
And I do want to note too that the heart chakra is extremely powerful. So the heart itself is 10,000 times more powerful electrically than the brain, and 5,000 times more powerful magnetically than the brain. So when twins are communicating using the heart chakra, what happens is it creates a vortex, and you're thinking about it, you're communicating it, you know, your heart chakra is spinning, and it's very powerful. So getting back to what this looks like. So if your heart chakra is right here,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
You mean how does it come right out of the middle here?
How does that
It
look
comes
like?
out and it goes out, and it goes out quite a ways. I mean, I don't know the distance, but it goes out. Far.
So the other end, it goes and connects to...
I can't see where it goes. I just see it just running out.
Right, so it runs to connects to your twin wherever they are within the world, or...
Yeah, and see, I've seen the rod out of the third eye on people before. So I've seen it in I've seen a rod in different places, the same look and feel. Actually, it's when I was early training in Reiki. That was one of the things we did, is we played with that a bit. This third eye rod. So I thought it was something related to that, which is interesting that has the same almost imagery to me. Between this one feels much different than the third eye one that we played with, and the third eye one was more like self-confidence and some things that we're playing with for Reiki. But like you kind of manifest that yourself in the training. You actually build some of that, and then you play with that. You toy with that actual psyche piece of your third eye. And like I said, I have a non-traditional Reiki master, great lady, totally.
Yeah.
Got my last level of training in this next couple weeks.
Sweet.
Yes, very looking forward to it. It's been a few years. And so, but this is very different. This is not something I see at all on people with the heart chakra. What you're talking about. It is the doweling. It's just straight, and it's straight out. It doesn't bend and weave. It's ethereal because it kind of moves, and it feels solid. It's really hard to describe it because I'm really more, I'm not so empathic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more, I'm more feel and touch than I am, than I am visual or audio. And so it feels to me very strong, and when I look at it, I can see it. So it's strong, and yet it's very strong looking and solid. I mean, not solid, but it's very strong feeling, but it looks almost like gaseous. But it's a definite dowel looking thing.
Interesting.
So not so much the rod thing where, I think sigh.
Okay.
But anyway.
Cool. Okay. So I want to kind of walk people through this, because when I first started my journey, I keep talking to them, but
That's okay.
you and I.
We're all here together, right?
Yeah. So when you first started, it's interesting because when Kundalini hits, your heart chakra expands, right? So, and I don't.
Yeah, the snake uncoils and goes up through everything. Yeah.
Right. And then when the heart chakra expands, you feel that burning. It's almost like if you got heartburn, but it's all in like one central circular area right here, right in your sternum. And then there's also this pain. And I know that a lot of people get, like a lot of white light workers get that, angelics. People that are going through ascension and going through Kundalini will get that heart chakra opening. And even if you're not, I think you can do, maybe I'm not, maybe I don't know it, like in Reiki or in certain situations you can, open or manipulate your heart chakra. I don't know.
I mean, you can do things
Can you do
to
that?
them. You can do things with them, yeah, to facilitate opening and closing of your chakras, no doubt about it. So yeah, that's possible. You can do that through Reiki.
Huh. So, but when you're experiencing this burning sensation and this dull pain within your heart chakra, it almost feels like you swallowed a giant piece of ice and it's stuck in your throat, or it's stuck right here, but it's like
That's
right
painful.
here. Yeah, and you can't get it down, and you can't I'm gonna drink some hot water, whatever the hell, it doesn't go away. And the thing is, when that's one of the primary and one of the main communications that you have with your twin. So since twins are constantly communicating etherically, so I could think of my twin, he will feel burning in his heart chakra. He will feel, yeah, I know, poor guy. And he'll feel that pain. I feel it a lot. And it feels very similar to the Kundalini. It feels almost like the same thing, to be honest. But because once you've gone through the process long enough and you're not your heart chakra is not expanding anymore, you'll be able to contribute to, oh, my twin is thinking of me. Oh, my twin there's some kind of communication that's coming through from them. That's what that is. So when you feel that burning, when you feel that pain, there's a communication going on. It's really hard for people at first to maybe understand what's going on or what that might be. And that really depends on your abilities. Everybody has different psi abilities once you hit your Kundalini, so you could be more clairaudient, you could hear more, you could feel more, you could see more. And so it really just depends on your particular strengths.
Yeah, because my clairsentient abilities really kicked in.
Yeah. So people that have very, very powerful clairsentient abilities will be able to determine more about exactly what is going on with that particular symptom.
So what are you saying though? Is there anything you can do is it like a symptom you can treat, or is it like it's just that's part of the process?
No, it's not bad at all. It's part of the process because you're actually like guiding each other through the day, and you're like sending each other love, and you're communicating, and the thing with twins is because you're always communicating.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Like, I can just be going through my day and I'll be walking down the hall and I'm getting, like today for 5 hours straight, I know my twin's going through shit today. It's going through hell. And I'm feeling him communicating something. There are other symptoms related to this or additional to this that kind of tell me what's going on. But I know he's thinking about, or he's communicating with me in a way that he's involving me in whatever is going on in his world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's
so
profound.
It really is. I've never experienced anything like it before. And people will tell you, oh yeah, you can feel somebody thinking about you. It's real. I mean, you really can. You can tell when they're thinking about you.
Wow.
Here's what's cool. So if I'm thinking about him, or I'm saying, hey, I'm sending him support or love, like telepathically, I'm like, communicating support or love or whatever it is to him, he'll feel it because he'll get like a goosebumpy feeling. And that's happened to me several times where I've like communicated something and I've waited a minute and then I get this thing back, which I'm not kidding, it feels weird. Because you're sitting there and like
it's petting you, or is it?
It's no, I just get attacked by this giant spider. No. Here's what it feels like. And people that communicate with guides and angels will know this too. When your twin is communicating something with you and you're acknowledging it, like you'll acknowledge it. When you're sending it to them and they're picking up on it, when they acknowledge it, you'll know because you'll get something back, like a tingle. And I always get it the same way, where I could be sitting and it's 90 degrees outside and my whole left leg will go like tingling all the way, like at the same time. And like something maybe up here, it's tingles, it's light pressure on the skin and the hair. It's kind of like a confirmation, and I was told that by several people that are very advanced in their abilities and with energetic elements like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I know he's picking up on it.
Yeah. And he talks to you about it, and
oh yeah.
So you guys, it's two-way. You both acknowledge it back and forth.
Yeah, it's definitely two-way.
Wow.
It's cool.
So it gives you affirmation of each other. It's a way to stay in touch when you're distant. It's a way, even distant, like a couple blocks, you know what I mean? Or upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, or it could even be like, he's on a plane flying to Egypt.
So is there any other purpose to it other than the communication and the reassurance, or?
Yeah, so, with twins, we're always guiding each other. You're always guiding each other. You're always that support. You're always the goal with the twin flame mission is to reach the highest level of, unconditional love. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be here for, is to help everybody understand. You're constantly communicating support and love. Like you're walking each other through this journey, right?
This is a hard journey. Let's be honest.
It's hell.
It is. That's sort of this built-in support mechanism to acknowledge.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're changing an energetic state. You're going through some weird stuff. People call it woo-woo, right? I mean, it's all kinds of things, right? All kinds of negative connotations and things. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is a way for the two of you to support each other, which is important because that's what I understand of twins, which is very limited. I'll be honest. Is that, I mean, it's a twin union kind of thing. You're going to lift yourselves up. You're going to be in a new state. You're going to go higher, whatever you want to say, ascension. Crystallizing is something I've heard people mention a lot. You actually
light body
activation, stuff like that. So you're going to go on and it's multi lives sort of thing. Like your souls have been in and out of each other's lives, potentially around each other multiple times, correct? And then you're coming together in this way. You got all this information, right? I mean, tell me about that.
Yeah. Okay. So over the course of all these past lives that both twins have been in, you're always guiding each other. So when one twin is incarnated in a life, the other twin will be guiding from beyond the veil, right?
Right.
So there's always that telepathic communication. And then now that we're both like reincarnated in the same, so we're here both physically, right? We're supposed to be helping through this journey. And the hard thing with twins is that the whole process is designed for us to dredge up each other's shit. So we mirror everything. So it's like, I'm going to break you down. I'm going to drag up all your demons. I'm going to bring them to your face. I'm going to help you through them. And a lot of the times we have to separate in order to go off into our corners and to deal with our stuff. So it's like we might not talk for a week. We might not talk for 2 weeks. We might not talk for 2.5 months.
But you have this telepathic connection to reassure each other that you're there.
Exactly, and that's how you do it, because you can tell when they're dipping. You can tell when they're struggling. You can tell when they're upset. You can tell when they're struggling, or battling with something. You can tell when their energy is low. You can feel them in every moment, and so. One of the main priorities is to constantly send your twin support, send them love, and that's how you do it. You do it through the 3D, you do it through your telepathic communication. It's like you're sending love, they can feel it. They always can feel it. They can feel it when you miss you, all of these things, and I can go through this whole list of this stuff, but it's incredible. It's like my twin and I had our longest separation was 2.5 months. We didn't talk for 2.5 months at all. At all.
That's a long time.
It was ridiculous, and it was painful as fuck. I have to admit. It was, and you'll notice about twins too, it is the most excruciating pain on the planet. Like, it will bring you to your knees, you're crying for God, kill me, I don't care, I just can't stand this anymore. It's like, it's the worst thing on the planet when you're away from your twin. It's awful. And it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does, but I get it.
It totally sounds crazy, but it will literally bring you to your knees. It's like...
so then when you come back together, it's all the gloriousness of coming back together too then?
Yeah, it is that. But,
there's an eraser word. What does that mean? But?
I know. It's great, but there's a purpose in it, right?
Right.
And you know that you have to do it. And you intuitively know that this is your mission. It's like, I need to learn this. I understand that I'm facing this problem. Here is the block that I'm facing. Here is the fear that I'm facing. Here is what I need to clear. Here is the programming that needs to be eliminated. Whatever it is, your twin is doing the exact same thing because you're mirroring each other, right?
Wow.
So you know that if you're struggling through it, they're struggling through it, and then the only way to really help each other is to communicate that way, and that's how you uplift each other. Like my twin always says, we're here supposed to uplift each other, right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, so, just beat each other up. That's the American way.
I know.
Let's fight.
So I'll give you an example. So my twin and I didn't speak for 2.5 months.
Okay.
Because we reached one of these things, of course, what you do, it's like, okay, everything's hunky-dory, but, we still have work to do. We still have spiritual work to do. And so it is, there's a little bit of jealousy involved, or there's a little bit of whatever it is, like some 3D, some lower vibrational crap some whatever human programming that you're still falling into, some ego, some fear, some doubt, whatever it is, you'll recognize it, you'll trigger it in the other one, and so you'll end up, having a little fight about it. You'll go away and you'll go into your own corners and you're like, okay, I got to deal with this, and then you face it. What happened with me and mine when we had this 2.5 months apart, it was crazy because I knew, I was like, okay, we're not going to talk, go do your thing, okay. For that first week and a half, I could not get out of bed. I was miserable. Like, I was so, it wasn't like here's the weird thing, I didn't feel sick, but I was so weak, I literally could not get out of bed. Like, I got up to take my dog out and then feed her. She's diabetic, she has to get insulin twice a day, but beyond that, I could not drag myself out of bed. I was that weak. I was lethargic. I was just, like, kicked. For like a week. I think I was even talking to you. I was like, I don't know. I can't get out of bed. I'm exhausted. And then I found out later that he had a bronchitis attack that week. And he was in bed with like 103-degree fever the entire week. So, and here's the thing with twins. Every human on the planet has an energetic signature. It's like a fingerprint, but it's your energetic signature. And every single one is unique. Every person has their unique frequency. Twins are the only beings that share the exact same energetic frequency. It's matched because you actually are one soul that's divided. You're the same frequency, right? So when you come back together and you have the Kundalini, you actually have this energetic merge. So you create a third energy. So
you have an energy baby.
Yeah, you have an energy baby. And then that energy baby helps spark other people's energy babies and their Kundalinis, and it's just clusterfuck, but whatever, and it's like fireworks on Gaia. Anyway, that's what it is, but it sounds nutsy. I don't care. So the thing is, you have the same energetic field, right? So
you can measure it too?
You can measure it.
That'd be cool.
And you can see it.
Well, I don't see the harmony in it. I don't see like the frequency. I see that it looks similar, but a lot of people look.
So if people that will read the energy of twins will be like, it's measurable. They can sense the how do I put this?
Well, I mean, you can feel. I mean, like I do my scans when
Right.
I do my healing,
Right.
and I can detect where things are off or not. But I also tell aura. I mean, as I get closer to something, I can feel the aura. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So with twins, it's exactly the same. And so because
I mean, but I was talking about scientifically. I mean, just because I put my science hat on once in a while.
put your science hat on. Let's do this.
But I mean, we can actually sit and I can stick a Buck Rogers energy scanner or what?
They
use
do
a shoe.
have those.
I know they couldn't do it. I
Right.
don't remember the name, so I said Buck Rogers. I don't know why. But
They do have them, and you can measure frequency, right?
that's what I thought. I mean, that's
Right.
I'm kidding about the Buck Rogers thing, but I mean, I do believe it is possible. That'd be interesting to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, do that with the two of you.
But wait, you've seen. I mean, I think when you were in Vegas, or you guys were in Louisiana, was it?
Yeah.
And you saw
oh, yeah.
those people that were together, and they had that symbol, and we were talking about
Oh
it.
my
Do you
gosh,
remember?
I do. I forgot about that actually.
Did they
You're
have?
right.
Did they have the same energy?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I totally forgot about that. And that was weird because there was this. I know that was weird. It's the first time I've seen symbols. I've
Yeah.
seen wings. I've seen all kinds of different things, but not symbols. Like, what's that? That's like scientific notation. And what the hell?
Right.
Okay, you're right. I have seen that. Sorry, I totally forgot.
Okay, so if you have two twins that are standing next to each other,
Oh my goodness.
they have identical energy, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they did, and they had the things were tied in together. It was like blended.
Right. So,
I
what
know.
this looks like, and I wish I could pull up this picture right now. Here's a masculine, here's a
Yeah.
feminine, and then here's the auras, right? They have their auras,
They blend.
but they actually they cross, and so there's a third energy, and that merge happens like your Kundalini, whatever. You merge your energies when you reunite, and so there's a third energy, right? So you're always feeling their energy everywhere you go. It's always the same.
Wow.
Always. It's crazy. Because like right now I'm getting this.
Yeah, and it's
Shit,
like
right
across
fucking
the
here.
world. You could be anywhere. You mean in the
Yeah.
universe anywhere. You can feel each other.
So this 2.5 months.
Sure, it's not like a ball and chain kind of thing.
No, it feels like it. Makes me want it. Remember when I sat there one day at happy
You're
hour
in prison.
and I
It
was
just
like,
feels better. No.
I feel like I have a letter opener stuck through my chest and
Yeah,
it's
I
just protruding for hours and I'm just going to try to ignore it. But you can't take an Advil for this shit. So, and you saw it. It was right there.
Yeah.
So here's some of the things because your energy is actually commingled and it's identical. Like you're the same frequency.
So you're saying because of that you're become a single being then?
You already are. That's what this is. You're just separated.
I get it.
Right?
I got it.
Right?
Sweet. So you like become like Two-Face, where you have half your body,
Whatever
half your
is.
body.
That guy.
Is that where you become like Two-Face and you have half your body one person and half your body yourself, or what?
No, that means that there's dude over here and then there's me, and we show up in our 40s and we meet each other. We're like, oh my god, I know you, because we have the same energy and we feel pulled together all the time because we have this. It's a law of attraction, right?
Okay.
Because like energy attracts like energy.
I get it.
And twins, because their energy is identical, it's just like poof, like this. It's like you're
magnetized,
constantly pulled together, constantly. And we can get in a fight and block each other 3 days later. It's like, hey, what's up? You've seen it.
I have.
How often do we do this, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking ever again, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Next week.
It's just, yeah. A few years this has been going on, so yeah. So
I know.
Yeah, okay, you too.
Doesn't work. So I thought I would go through some of these things because of this, it's really damn confusing because now you're having all these symptoms and you like hit your kundalini and you're like, what the hell is this? And by the way, do I have heartburn for 3 months in a row? And what the hell is wrong with me? And do I need to see a doctor? And how do I know if he's feeling it? Because we don't talk about it because my twin doesn't tell me shit, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about how this feels. I want to talk about how you know.
By the way, all this information is on our site as well, correct? Interzention.
It is.
Yeah, you've
I
been
wrote
working
this-
your butt off on stuff.
I wrote this really long article about it, and Jim told me I was writing so much. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to break this down because, like, when I was going through this, I didn't know what the hell any of this was, and I had to ask people. I'm like, well, how do I know? Is he even picking up on this? Or if I'm getting something, what the hell does that mean? Because it sure as hell didn't come out of the blue, right?
So you're not pregnant. You're not like
You're
have
not
heartburn.
pregnant. You're not having a heart attack.
Yeah.
You don't have heartburn.
No.
And then you're picking up on thoughts. Like you can, okay, gets crazy. So I'm going to go through this list because...
Well, go through this thing because you thought it through. Because you lived it.
I live it every day. I spent 5 hours with his foot in my chest because I know he's pissed off and he's stressed out. And so I'm feeling it everywhere I go. Like, I'm like, until today, I'm like, oh my God, I can't get away from it, right? So here's the deal. Okay, so when you're thinking about each other, it's like, it comes from the heart because twins are connected through heart chakra. Everything comes through the heart because twins are heart-centered. That's the whole purpose of everything. And so, burning, pain, I spent the day with him, and then he had to go hang with his kids or take off or something, and I was so pissed off because I don't get to see him as much as I'd like to. And so we both kind of were like, we had to leave before we both were done hanging out. And then I had this stabbing pain, like at an envelope,
Envelope opener?
Yeah,
letter opener?
like a letter opener stabbed in my chest, and you saw it, and I was like, shit, this is killing me. And that's missing. It's missing. Like, it's a pain. I'm feeling the pain. He's feeling it. We're both feeling the pain, right?
Right.
So that's what that is. If I go to send him something, I know he's having a shit day, or I know he's going to be at work and he's dealing with certain people in his work environment that aren't nice to him, and I'll send him something. I'll be like, hey, have a good day. Or just like telepathically, like, hey, love, have a good day. Or I just send him whatever it is, in whatever way that I do. And I'll get back like tingles on my head, tingles up my arm, all at the same time, right? My whole left leg will go numb. Not numb, but numb and tingly. And that's the confirmation. It's like, okay, it's a receipt. You know what I mean? It sounds really crazy, but so many people that go through this explain that to me, and now it makes sense. So I'm like, well, how do I know he's picking up on it? Well, do you get the tingles? Yeah, that means he's sending it back, whatever.
Wow.
And the tingles feel like if someone blows on your skin, or it's just like, it's kind of like this. In the hair, it feels like, have you ever had like somebody pour water on your head, like really slowly, like out of a bucket, and it just kind of like drips down your scalp?
Yeah.
And it's like that creepy, like, feeling. That's what that feels like.
Wow.
Yeah. You also can send them, like, say you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna, okay, my twin was sitting, he always is working and he's doing shit at my table all the time. And he'll sit there for like 4 hours and he's like, blah, 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 blah. He's a Virgo, and so he does 8 things at once all the time. He does not slow down. And so he'll be sitting there, and one time I was looking at him and he was off in 8 different directions mentally, and he's on his laptop. And I sent him a little, I'm like, yeah, right there. And I sent like this little kiss over here, like, excuse you. And he goes like this, just like naturally, just kind of up. He kept working. I was like, I did that. See? It was that cool. It's instantaneous.
That is so cool.
It's cool. Yeah. And it's funny because I noticed someone told me too that I'm like, well, how do you know, why do I get tingles up this part of my hand, but then it comes over here? And it's like, that's legitimately when they're visualizing. It's like you manifest things when you visualize. When you're visualizing your twin, and like say, you're sending them a hug or whatever it is, wherever that pressure point is in that visualization is where you're going to feel that tingle.
Wow.
Yeah. So I realize that I always get, like, out of the blue, I'll be thinking about him. I'll be like, oh, he's having a shitty day. I hope everything's cool. Like, I'll send him something. And then, like, right now, I just did it right now. And, like, this whole part of my leg, it's always the same thing. This whole part of my leg, it just tingles up my arm and then right here. But when we actually like chill together and we're like cuddling on a couch or whatever, that's where his leg rests, all the way over here.
Oh,
and
so
his arm,
interesting.
and he'll have one arm up here. He always has a hand up here. And so where that pressure point is, and where they're visualizing spending time with you, or reuniting, or
wow,
or what do you call it? You're going down memory lane. When they're visualizing that, or sending that to you, or saying, hey, I'm supporting you, or I'm, here's a hug, or, I'm giving you a cuddle, whatever it is, wherever they're, that pressure,
physically there, yeah.
Physical pressure is where, because it's the same
it's
energy.
It's a memory, and it's where they're feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing, too, is so that they always say, well, twins can read each other's minds. I was like, that is creepy as fuck. Because I don't want him to know what I'm thinking 24/7.
Especially you.
Yeah,
What's
right?
going on in your mind?
Bad. I don't like that. I didn't sign up for this shit, right?
I'm just having fun with you.
No, but it's
Yeah.
so true. But here's the thing. You don't know you're doing it until you check later.
Oh my goodness, really?
You have the same thoughts. You legitimately do all the time. Like and we're going through the same stuff. So if I'm like bitching about finances, he's bitching about finances. If he's pissed at his kids, I'm pissed at my kids. We're in sync every minute, and we don't realize it because we're thinking the same thing, because we're energetically connected that way. And here's what's crazy. One day, I don't eat during the day. I didn't eat till I got here at 5 o'clock. I'm like, oops, forgot to eat. So I'm sitting there one day, and I'm like, oh, God, I want spaghetti so bad. So I went down and made spaghetti. Like, I don't ever cook.
Oh my goodness.
Remember that? I think I told you about
You
this.
did tell me about this story.
I was
yes,
like,
sorry.
I have to have spaghetti. So I went down
punchline.
and yeah, but it was like, oh, like I was, and it was one of those spirit-led things where it's like, you don't think about it, you just do it.
Yeah.
You're like on.
Hey, you're just on, you're busy and you don't even think about it. I'm kind of hungry, let's do this.
I'm making spaghetti and I'm making it now, and everything, the whole world's going to stop until I make this damn spaghetti. And I went down and made this spaghetti, and I'm sitting there like snacking on this spaghetti, working on some work, and my twin texted me. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, ooh, I'm making my favorite spaghetti. It was just like, he had spent the last 2 hours dredging up his list, and he had this old Italian roommate, and there's this big long story about the spaghetti he wanted to make, and God forbid I get the recipe, because then we wouldn't be able to, make better spaghetti than each other. No, you don't get the recipe. But and I was like, fuck, are you kidding me right now? So I was making spaghetti because he was making spaghetti mentally, right? I mean, it's the same thing. And like one day I was talking to my dad about getting kids outside. I went into it with my dad because I was like, I want my twin to, like, he wants to go into, like, further his career corporate. He wants to go into management. He wants to go get another degree and go into get his master's. And I'm like saying, screw it. Follow your mission. This is what makes you happy. We're talking about getting kids outside, blah, blah. He really wanted to do it. I'm going to talk to him about it, blah, blah, blah. And I push and talking to my dad. It was like on a Sunday. Next day, I talked to my twin. He goes, you know what I was thinking yesterday? And I was driving in my truck coming back from taking the kids somewhere that I really think I should scrap this and this, and I should really like go forward with this. And
wow.
I even stopped and bought a new knife. So like everything that I was talking about to my dad, he was
picking up on it and running with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and I go, what time was that? It was like same time. One day I woke up and then it depends on your abilities too, because I know some people like Shani, she smells everything and she hates it. She's like, I wish I could just block this. But like I woke up one day, could smell sausage, maple syrup and sausage. Nobody was making breakfast around. There was nothing. And then I hear from my twins like, oh, I just took the kids for breakfast and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay. Mm-hmm. You're constantly connected. You feel everything. That 2.5 months that we were separated, or we didn't talk, every time that something happened to him, I found out later, like I would be, and this still happens like on a daily basis, but at this time it was more intense because we were apart, and so everything was like magnified. You can feel everything they're feeling.
Wow.
So if I'm walking through my day and I'm in a great mood, blah, 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 and he gets in a fight with somebody, I'm immediately pissed off. Like, I want to punch somebody. And I'm like, why am I so fucking mad all of a sudden? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, this crazy person just da-da-da. But you feel everything. The emotions are the same. And the trick is identifying what's happening, identifying yours outside of theirs. Because I know there's lots of times where he was fighting with family and he's fighting with his home environment and all this kind of thing, and it would go on for days. And my whole world would go to shit because I think I'm in a shitty mood. Yeah. Had nothing to do with me at all. And a lot of twins are facing that.
Can you balance that out?
You can if you recognize it, but you have to learn to recognize it. You have to know, is this me? You know, I mean, you'll hear me do it all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm in a shitty fucking mood. And then I'm like, oh, it's not me. I do that all the time, don't I?
Yes, you do.
I'm like, this isn't me. It's not mine. And then you go, psh, and then you can heal it for them because you can, energetically connected, you can heal it for them.
Absolutely.
Or you can clear it for them, or you can help them get through it, and you can support them and do all that kind of thing. But the energy being connected, I think, is really important because if you can identify the difference between your emotions, what you're going through, and what you're picking up from them, and be able to separate them, then you're gonna advance through your journey a lot faster because you're gonna clear stuff as it comes up. Where normally it would drag you down in your world, and you're not helping them. But if you learn to recognize it, then it's not affecting your world, and you can actually help them. You know,
get out of it. Yeah.
Clear it and get through their day and stuff. I think when it's really important is when, I mean, shit, it's like, the thing about it is you always have to be really careful about your thoughts because I can have a shitty mood, I can fight with my mother, and then I'm thinking, well, shit, he's going to pick up on that. Yeah. Right? And so you have to be really careful because everything that you send out, they're picking up on. And so
just send rainbows and unicorns. Keep it.
Yeah, well, it is, and you have to be really careful about it because you know if they're gonna walk into a job, the most important job interview of their life, and you're like,
oh Jesus, yeah.
You know, somebody cuts you off in traffic and you're cussing them out, or you're having a fight with your mother, or whatever it is, and they're picking up on that. You know what I mean? And it affects them, and so it's like it's really important to be aware. It's really important to be able to identify, and then the whole point in it is to be able to block it on your end. And then help them clear it and heal it on theirs.
So let's say I'm like just entering this stuff. Can I reach out to you and ask for help? Absolutely. Discussion. I mean, I know you mentor and do things like that, and you work with people all the time. But you still doing that, or what? Like, send the flare up to you and give you calls, right? You know, okay.
I'll help you with that.
Yeah, I thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you've got a lot of wisdom.
No, no. It's been a long journey, and it's like. The thing with it is like it's new for a lot of us. Well, for all of us, it's new for all of us, and so I'm learning. I'm trying to help people, and we're all kind of in this together. So,
Yeah, I think it's in all things in life. It's definitely a lot easier to reach out to somebody who's been through it, and somebody has researched a lot, especially as much as you've studied this subject, and now writing.
Yeah.
Clearly, everybody's writing a lot. Check it out. I think it's really rich, good stuff. Real honest. I definitely would recommend, honestly, reach out to Lin and say, hey, look, what is this about? This is
yeah,
I
it's
feel
crazy.
like I've got heartburn. I've got some weirdness. First.
Yeah.
But it could be. You'll feel it, and you've done a lot of readings for people on this stuff too. So I know
Yeah,
you sense it even before you do your readings,
I do.
because you've been through it, so you kind of
Yeah.
get it, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it's like
Yeah.
want some affirmations from someone to bounce things off of. I say reach out to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you still have your door open to that and continue to
Totally.
do that, because I know it can be
Yeah.
a lot, and I think
It is a lot, and it's very confusing, and there's not that much information about there on it that actually talks about how it applies in like your daily life, right?
Yeah.
And so it's being aware, I think, is half the thing, because we've all got to get through it. We've all got to know what we're experiencing, and we're all on the same team. So
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, okay. Well, read the website. Drop you a line. I know I'm gonna put some stuff up there real soon around content. You got an amazing amount of content already in this subject. But folks, we're gonna see a lot of changes to our site.
yeah,
Adding
for
some of
sure.
our services up there. So yeah, I look forward to getting that done, to be honest, and getting us moving forward. And I think that it's a great platform that we put together. I think you have a great deal of knowledge in there. I'd like to see suggestions, or if somebody would like to add or give us some content, or give us some subjects, or let us
Totally.
just your feedback and let us know what we can do to improve the site or what you'd like to see. That'd be great. I'd love the feedback. Sign up for our newsletter.
Totally. I do have one more thing to add, and this is
Add it.
super important. I don't know how I skipped it.
PPS?
PPS. Palpitations are ridiculous. So when you normally feel a heart palpitation, where do you feel it? If you're gonna have a really powerful,
Right over on the left side.
right on your heart, right? So when you're having a heart, when you're having a communication
Chakra
with
one?
your twin, you will have palpitation in your heart chakra. It's right in the middle, and it almost feels like, for women, you'll know if you've had a kid, it feels like a baby kicking almost. It is like a bump, bump, bump.
So it's out?
It's
Oh.
it's a rolling thump. It's a very powerful palpitation. And I've bitched about this for hours before, because I'm like, for the love of God, I can't concentrate. This goes on for hours. I've said that before, right?
Yes.
These palpitations are kicking my ass. When you're like totally sending love to your twin, when it's just like, oh my God, I'm like, they're going through something, or you miss the shit out of them, and you're sending it hardcore, because you can go and do that. Like, twins meet in 5D, and that's part of it. You're supposed to do that for them. They'll feel it. That's what that is. It's a heart palpitation. It's the soul love that's being expressed from the other side.
Yeah.
So if it's on the left side, go to the doctor. Don't call me.
Thank you.
If your palpitation is on the left side and it's in your heart, I'm going to say, I'm trying not to kill you.
Yeah.
But if it's in the middle, that's what that is.
911, ASAP.
No, it seriously is. It's the soul expression of love from the energetic connection, is what that is. It's the heart.
Very, very powerful
It's
thing.
it's the heart chakra. It's a
You describe it as a vortex or a...
yeah. That's what that is. And then there's one more thing. Shit. If my twin got in a motorcycle accident and broke his leg, I would feel pain in that leg.
Like the real break pain, or you just feel
I
pain?
would feel pain. Like, I felt you break your arm, your twin would feel pain in the same arm, kind of thing.
All right.
And if they miss you, like my twin has said before, when we had that 2.5 months apart, he knew I was going to call. He knew we were going to communicate that day, and he was like, I could feel you missing me. It's the same thing. So it's all connected.
Wow. Okay,
Really?
you just make it sound so bad. I don't know.
I don't mean to make it sound bad. I just want people to be aware, because it's so great when you know what it is. It's like, oh, okay, he's communicating with me. I'm just not having heartburn. And then it always matches up later if you talk about it.
I can't wait to see where your journey goes. I just really can't.
Me
Very
either.
interested.
I don't know.
So we'll see, folks, all
Okay.
together.
So that's that.
All right.
That's just the basics on telepathy. I'm gonna get into deeper, the astral sex and all that kind of crazy stuff later in the 5D meeting in Merkaba.
Sweet.
That's a whole
Is that like Ibiza?
different level. That's Ibiza on. I don't know what you'd call it. But yeah, we're not hitting that today. So
no. Okay.
That's
so some things, I guess, check out our site, intervention.com.
Yeah.
Reach out to Lin or me. I'm Jim. This is Lin.
Hey.
And hey, everybody. I think we're going to see, like I said, we keep talking about this, but we're going to have a lot of different content added to the site. And I keep changing the site and improving it. I've been on it dedicated. And so we're going to start seeing some stuff there. And look for a lot of different stuff. Keep coming back, folks. It's we're definitely adding a lot of content, getting some partnership stuff done. And we're really looking forward to adding a lot more to the site. So
totally.
check us out.
You've been doing an amazing job on that, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have any questions at all, just put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Because I'm like listing Q&A and keeping track of questions
absolutely.
that I'm
Help us
coming
grow this
across
thing. Yeah.
and listing them out. So
Love it. All right.
There you go.
Hey, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.